Yes, and I'm realizing that this is probably backwards for you. So if that's how it is, sorry, but we're just gonna roll with it and just we're just gonna make it happen because that's what we do. A stands for agenda, 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 agenda. So this is basically the outline. You're gonna set the framework here, and this is what I do on the initial call. And I'll talk to you guys. I don't know what the pre-qualification is, that your process is, your application, the questions that you ask, but we'll look at that. Really, really important stuff. And just as a side note, there's a book by Robert Cialdini called Influence. Highly recommend you get that. 6 laws of influence in there: liking, commitment, and consistency, reciprocity. You really want to learn these. But he wrote a book recently called Persuasion. It's things that you do to pre-qualify people or get them pre-associated to what's going on. And there's just little things that you do, lots of studies, little things in your language that'll make a difference. One of the examples in there, for example, was something like this. If somebody at the mall was like asking people for money, they could just say, hey, could you give me some money to help these people? Could you give me some money? Or can you sign this petition? You know, when you're outside of Whole Foods and there's people with clipboards asking you all these, like, hey, do you got 5 minutes? Like, no. They ask all these terrible questions. A better question would be, hey, do you like to help people? Yeah, you get a yes response. Hey, do you have a dog? Do you like animals? Yeah. Oh, great. We're doing this thing that helps animals. Can I share with you about it? So you're just going to do these little things, these questions. But here we're going to go. For now, the agenda. Here's what you need to realize, and I would write this down. This is gold. When people, you need to realize this first, is that when people come to a consultation with you, they are in a mindset. They're in a questioning mindset, and their questions they're asking is, how much is this going to cost? Your clients are thinking that a lot. What's the quality of work going to be? What can you do for me, basically? Or a lot of people think like, how do I get the most and pay the least? That's the mindset. These are not good mindsets that you want them to be in, and you don't want them in a questioning mindset anyway. So what's going to happen is, as I alluded to in the last video, is you're going to set the frame right here. So a little bit of small talk. You're talking, hey, this, that, looking around, and you say, oh, this is great. Well, look, Bob, here's how the call is going to go. Here's how this is going to go. And you can even give a reason if you want. You know, I've done a lot of these trainings or a lot of these consultations, and I find that it works best if I ask you some questions, and you're just going to go into it really, really smooth. But what I say is something like this: look, Bob, here's how the consultation is going to go. I'm going to ask you some questions to find out if or how I can help you. I'm going to tell you the process to get exactly what you want here in your home. You can ask me any questions you like, and at the end of the time, you let me know if all this made sense. Does that sound fair? And they say, yeah. And so what I've done there is I established a frame. One, I'm going to ask you some questions to find out if or how I can help you. I'm not saying I can help you. I'm not saying I want to help you. I might not even like you. You might have a shithole here. I might not want to do business with you. So this is like the confident alpha. That's like not all needy, like, hey, like I alluded to, it's like, it's not demonstrating that like we're number one and we've done all this. And yeah, you'll get to testimonials and you'll get to the work that you've done and all that stuff, and that'll be great. But you don't lead with that. You lead with setting a frame as a professional. Think about diagnosing the problems like a professional brain surgeon. You're the best in the world. You don't need to show plaques and degrees and all that stuff. Like, this is it. So the first phrase, look, here's how these consultations work best. I'm going to ask you some questions to find out if or how we can even help you. I'm going to tell you the process for you to get exactly what you want. Then third, and then you throw this in there. You can ask me any questions you like. And at the end of this conversation, at the end of this consult, you let me know if all this made sense. Does that sound fair? And 99.9999% of the time, they're going to say, yeah, sure. So they're going to unconsciously make a commitment there. What you've alluded to also, is you're going to get them to make a decision today. So you set that frame. So it's 4 things that I said there. You can watch this back. I'll do it one more time really quick. Look, Bob, here's how the call is going to go. I'm going to ask you some questions to find out if or how I can help you. I'm going to tell you the process to get exactly what you want here out of your home. You ask me any questions you like, and at the end of this little consult here, you let me know if all this made sense. Does that sound fair? I said, yeah, great. And so what we've done there is we've established this frame. Really, really, really important. And so we got 4 minutes here. I'm just going to go into the next piece here as well. And this is where we really start getting into the meat. And there's a lot that goes on here, and I'll have some specific questions, and we'll talk, and we'll find out some of the questions that you're being asked, and we'll frame those a little differently. But for now, the next piece is pain. So P stands for pain in this rapid framework. And so what we want to do after we set this frame, we basically want to find out what people want, what their vision is, and you get them associated to what the vision is. And you can even talk about here stories, and stories are really great about comps in the area, about what people have done. You're having a conversation, but you're really getting them talking about what they don't like, getting them focused on the pain. Because people do things to, again, avoid pain or gain pleasure. And the desire to avoid pain, you get them like frustrated. Like, by the time they're done, you've dug into this pain and you get them really associated. They want to change things now. So there's a lot of questions. We'll go into that, but for now we're going more into the framework just so you understand it. The next one, the I, stands for investigation. Investigation. So it's P, then I is an investigation. And here what we do is we're able to link this pain to other areas of the life. So there's basically 5 F's of influence. I have 7, and I'll touch on them really quick. One is, say, finances. That's a pain for a lot of people. And so then there's family, friends, fitness, and faith. Those are typically the 5 F's of influence. And I add a couple others. One is fun, and the other is fucking. So those are 5 things that are big, or sex sells. So influential models for people. So you can show people, like when I started doing this process, I was enrolling people into my personal training, like online. I was coaching people on the phone for fitness coaching, like a personal trainer. I wasn't actually training them, but I was charging them between $5,000 and $10,000 to work for me, when they could go to a personal trainer who would actually be there, spot them. I'm just talking to them on the phone once a week and sending them some emails, and they're paying me that much money. Why? Because on the phone call, because the conversation, because the consult, they were properly sold. And that's what you're going to do for your people here as well. So people have this pain, and you've got them, you've asked some questions, you find out what's not working and what the vision is. So you've established a gap between where they are and where they want to be. And so now I want to expand the gap, and I want to intensify this gap. We do that by linking this pain to other areas of the life, one of these 7 or 5 F's. And so if somebody, for example, has a problem with their finances, I'm going to show them how their finances are affecting their fitness, like their health level, because they're stressed out, and that's affecting their family. They're not a good role model. They're affecting their friends. They just can't do some of the stuff, whether it's being active. It's affecting also their faith. We all have, as Tony really goes into a lot, he really hammers home, he precedes this belief. He does this a lot. Right in the beginning of his seminars, he says, we all here for a reason. God doesn't make any mistakes, and you're here for a reason. And you living into these patterns, do you feel that you'll be able to fulfill your ultimate purpose in life with what you have going on right now? So that gets a little bit spiritual, but you want to realize that these people have these pain points. People feel like their lives are meaningless. People feel like they're keeping up with the Joneses. People do things for weird reasons. And the other two, fun. A lot of times, it's like with what I do, training people, coaching people, and people have oftentimes chosen me over another more qualified trainer or a more qualified whoever, coach. And the reason was because I was fun. And I get people, sometimes even in my own sales process, I'll ask people about, I'm going to coach them and sell them into it. I just ask them, how much fun are they having? Or get them associated, how much fun would it be to really have a project? So people often think that, it's like this serious thing, and some people are going to be serious, but everybody likes to have fun. And even if people are going to a seminar or buying something, everybody wants to enjoy what they're doing. People don't want to be stressed out. And we think oftentimes, whether it's going to a seminar or changing things, like changing our whole life, changing this whole thing, it's like this come to Jesus thing. Some people just want to have fun. They don't like this, and they want to make changes. They want to change their house, and they want to enjoy it, and they want to enjoy who they're talking to. They want to enjoy the process. Our lives are short. And so they can feel from you that they're going to have more fun in the process. Unconsciously, it's not the only reason, but it's definitely an added benefit. And then the other one, sex sells, the fucking. So, it's just really realizing that some people have that. They want to have like something sexy and cool. And those are also drivers. So those are the 7 drivers, and whatever their pain is, I'm going to try to tie that to some of these areas through some specific questions that we'll get into later. But next video.